Well, welcome back. We are now less than 1 week away from students heading back into the classrooms, and your health can often be front of mind. So joining me now is Nick Fye, who is a personal trainer with Lifetime, to talk about some healthy habits for both kids and adults. Nick, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's whether we like it or not, school is on its way, so it's good to get everything ready to go and get those routines started overall.
Absolutely. So as people start thinking about their routines and kind of how they want to go about it, I guess what is your first piece of advice to them just to get started thinking about it?
I think the biggest issue I see with people is, something new happens within the schedule. Obviously, school is a big deal. They start trying to put out fires as they go versus planning and preparing. So typically with clients, I recommend have a trial run, like have a day where everybody wakes up when they would for school, what are we eating, what activities do we have going on, and kind of collaborate with that. That way everybody's on the same page. I'm kind of old school, I like to write stuff down, but there are really good applications too where you can kind of track what's all going on, and then everybody's got the proper fuel for nutrition. Everybody's kind of working together on that. You have that social aspect of it too.
Yeah.
That makes it easier just because when you get there, it's a pretty seamless transition versus a road bump for you.
Absolutely. And obviously so many different people are getting into routines. Not only is kids heading back to school, but parents have to think about, a new aspect of bringing their kids to and from school and activities. So can you start by talking about adults? How should adults, start those healthy habits? And then we'll get into kids after.
I think adults specifically, it's, keep doing what you've been doing. It's just trying to follow that plan as best as you can and ask lots of questions, it adds another layer of what's going on in your day, but kids are going to mimic what you're doing. So if you're able to kind of help and assist and kind of plan going through that, the kids are going to follow likewise as well too. And a big one is that nutrition, where if you can have quality meals and meals together and have some of that flowing, the kids likewise, they're going to sleep better, they're going to have better moods, they're going to study better, whatever activities they're involved in are going to be better. It flows quite a bit more effectively. So I like to have my parents try to lead by example as best as possible. Don't stress out because it is busy and you've got a lot going on, but the kids feel that likewise. So if you can go into it with confidence and you plan it out, you're going to be on a lot better road for that stuff.
Absolutely. So what are some of those quality nutritious meals that parents should be eating?
A big one is skipped breakfast. I'm a big breakfast person.
Okay.
Getting in some quality carbohydrates and protein at your breakfast is huge because that's just going to be fuel for the rest of the day. Plus, once again, it's something you can do together. And then throughout the day, I have some of our kids supplement line up here. This is great to fill in the cracks of the diet, help with immunity because, there's lots of bugs and stuff going around right now, so especially with school starting. And then overall mood and just kind of cognitive function as well too, just because we don't know, 100% what they're getting in throughout the day because kids will be kids. And then especially if they do have activities and stuff at night, things like this are great to, just kind of help make sure we're getting those quality nutrients in along the way. And then, try to plan meals together. Like my family grew up, we always had supper together as much as possible, even if practice went late. I really recommend that for people if you can, or if you got games. Bring food with you. You can still kind of work on that. But as parents, I think it's really big to pay attention to what our kids are intaking because it does really impact their overall mood and performance and sleep and stuff.
Absolutely. And now for kids setting that routine, what's the most important step that you would give for just advice for kids getting into the routine?
This is going to sound hypocritical because I hated bedtime growing up.
Don't we all? Still do.
Now as a parent, I'm like, I can't wait to go to bed. I love my kids, but it's like I'm tired all the time. But having a nighttime routine is going to establish that sleep. And sleep to me is the biggest performance enhancement drug day to day of like getting that quality sleep. So it doesn't have to be a set time frame, but getting rid of devices later at night, not necessarily snacking and having sugars later at night.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Making sure we're tapering down and just kind of listening to, how can I get the best sleep possible? And I know that's hard with kids. I got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and luckily I have good sleepers, but it's still always a little bit of a fight with the devices and that kind of stuff. But you're going to notice better students, you're going to notice better athletes. Like that sleep is really, really important for them as they're developing.
Those devices can definitely get you.
Oh
okay, for kids, healthy nutrition habits, is it similar to adults, or is there anything separate you would do for kids?
It's going to be pretty similar. I mean, anybody who has a teenager, they know they're eating a lot of food because they're really growing and they're really, just kind of developing overall. So that's where having good options for them, so they're not reaching for candy and kind of junk calories. They have jerky and yogurts and berries and, things that are going to be really nutritious for their body. So as a parent, just having that on hand for them, I always encourage schools to try to have that stuff readily available for the kids because they need it a lot as they're growing. And, I remember those days after football practice, it's like I could eat 10 hamburgers if I wanted to because you're just starving and growing. And, if you have that ready to go for them, they will utilize that stuff.